Welcome to this podcast on the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. So, who is a fugitive economic offender, or in short, FEO? An FEO is defined by the Fugitive Economic Offenders FEO Act 2018 as any individual against whom a warrant for arrest in relation to a scheduled offence has been issued by any court in India who, number 1, has left India so as to avoid criminal prosecution, or number 2, being abroad refuses to return to India to face criminal prosecution. The FEO Act aims to provide for measures to deter fugitive economic offenders from evading the process of law in India by staying outside the jurisdiction of Indian courts, to preserve the sanctity of the rule of law in India and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. The FEO bill was introduced in Lok Sabha on March 12, 2018 and passed by the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha on July 19th and July 25th respectively. The Act replaced the Fugitive Economic Offenders Ordinance 2018, which was promulgated on April 21st of that year. But why was such a law required? Economic offences relate to fraud, counterfeiting, money laundering, tax evasion, etc. Among the laws available for prosecuting these offences are the Prevention of Money Laundering Act PMLA 2002, the Benami Properties Transaction Act 1988, and the Companies Act 2013. Sections of the Indian Penal Code 1860 and the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 also cover offences such as forgery and cheating. In 2017, Finance Ministry released a draft bill to address cases of high-value economic offenders fleeing the country to avoid prosecution. It observed that existing civil and criminal laws did not contain specific provisions to deal with such offenders, and that a new legal framework was needed to prosecute them. The Finance Ministry also argued that procedures under these laws were time-consuming, led to roadblocks in investigation, and impacted the financial health of banks. In March 2018, the Ministry of External Affairs stated that over 30 businessmen under investigation by the CBI and the ED had absconded to avoid facing prosecution before Indian courts. So, what is the process for declaring an individual an FEO? Under the Act, an application must be filed in the special court asking that a particular individual may be declared an FEO, or a fugitive economic offender. The application must be accompanied by reasons for the belief that an individual is a fugitive economic offender, and any information available as to the whereabouts of the fugitive economic offender, and a list of properties or the value of such properties believed to be the proceeds of crime, etc. The special court may then issue notice to the individual to appear at a specified place and drop the proceedings if the individual complies. If, however, the special court is satisfied that an individual is an FEO, it may record so in an order along with reasons. The court may then order the confiscation of the properties of the accused individual in India or abroad. For example, in the case of Nirav Modi, the ED filed an application under the FEO Act in July 2010. Or for example, in the case of Vijay Mallya, the application was moved in June 2018 when the Act was still an ordinance. Thank you very much for listening to this article on the Fugitive Economic Offender Act